Okay. Good to know. All right. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
We should start this with a happy birthday song to Lisa.
Yes.
What?
Absolutely.
So,
Okay.
Okay.
happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Oh my goodness, maybe we should be singing.
Happy birthday,
Dear Lisa. Happy birthday to you. Well, I know I won't be joining The Voice anytime soon.
That was the most beautiful rendition of Happy Birthday I've ever heard.
And your ears will have at least 1 year to recover after that one.
Yes, right.
It's a very important day today because not only is it my birthday, but it is also Steve's premiere of the Holiday Baking Championship.
Yeah, Steven!
So we're all so excited to watch that. We're going to go out for dinner and then we're going to sit down with some popcorn and watch our buddy on TV. So
that's awesome.
That's
hey, Vincent, what are you up to today? Anything exciting?
No, I'm just curling. Otherwise, I would be at Steve's place watching it with him.
Yeah. But you get to do your curling, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm skipping a team, so I can't miss it.
Cool.
No, they are counting on you.
Yes.
Well, we are all in a little bit of a time crunch today, but that is okay because we only have 6 bakers left. So we should be able to get through this faster, right?
Absolutely. First ever Arts and Crafts Week, week 5 already.
Yes.
I know.
It was a great week.
That is crazy. It was a great week.
It was very entertaining and very colorful.
It was.
Yes.
I love
Agreed.
it.
Lots of beautiful bakes, brilliant ideas. Like it was fun to watch this episode for sure.
And more savory again, which was really nice.
Yeah. We always like the savory. Yeah. Okay, so let's start. And just a little disclaimer, if the sound's not so good, we're having a power outage here. So I'm recording on my phone. We're just having a little bit of technical issues, but we're going to make it happen. So we're here regardless, right?
Woohoo.
All right. So the signature, the focaccia painting. 2 hours and 15 minutes to do a piece of focaccia art with a good spongy texture, bounce back, and good flavor. So what did you guys think of that?
I thought 2 hours and 15 minutes is a very ambitious time constraint. Holy man, how?
Yeah, I believe I do my focaccia overnight, generally. I like to get a good...
really?
Yeah, I like to get a good ferment on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop, Vincent.
Okay, what is he thinking? A dirty joke or something?
No.
When
I see him smile like that, I get nervous.
Yeah, I hear you. He's just gonna grin. He's just gonna keep grinning. That's fine.
Yeah.
So a couple of people were using their sourdough starters. So Pamela and Jen both used sourdough starters as well as yeast. I didn't see anybody else using a starter. Did you guys notice?
Just those two that you just mentioned. Yep.
Yeah. Which one was your favorite?
I personally like the dinosaur focaccia. However, I don't know about the flavors of it because it's basically onions and lotus root, which doesn't have a lot of flavor. So I thought that there were other ones that had probably a much more flavor punch in terms of toppings.
Okay.
In terms of just look, I love that one. I love Mono one, and I loved Alora's peacock was beautiful too.
Yes, that was beautiful. Well, Erica's dinosaur cake focaccia also had the spicy herb and chili oil, which I thought kind of sounded like it punched it up a little bit. I don't know what lotus root tastes like, but I agreed with you. There's not a lot of variety of flavor, not a lot of vegetables on there, but I loved the way it looked. I thought that was so beautiful how she thought of that.
It was a very clever presentation for sure. And pardon?
Yeah, it did look like a fossil. Yeah.
It did. It really, really did. So it's spot on in terms of the execution of it. And hopefully the flavor was all in the actual other stuff that the herb and chili oil that was added to the focaccia, hopefully.
Yeah, well, they did seem to like it. They said it was very innovative, looked perfectly like a fossilized skull, and she had good structure and good depth, and the chili oil just finished it off really well. So I think all in all, Erica did a really good job with this signature challenge.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I really loved it. And I loved her sound effects. Her sound effects through the whole season have been fabulous, but especially in the episode for week 5's episode, it was hilarious, and the editing was just like perfect on every single one of her little whoop.
I noticed it more when they were doing the cartoon cake, and I was like, this is just so perfect for a cartoon, you know, all the little sound effects that were happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, Erica, they're just so fun.
Yeah.
Like having a great time and just being there. I can't say enough good stuff about you, Erica.
She is. And it looks like, and I think she made a little bit of a comment on the way in, walking into the tent as well, where she just made a comment about, you know, I guess the first few episodes, she was proving to herself why she should be in the tent. And now she's just going to have fun and just enjoy the ride. Which I think is a really, really good place to be. And I think it just puts you in that much more of a comfort level, and your confidence soars when you're feeling like that too, I think. So
I think it really worked for them. Yeah, that was great.
I think
all right, so go ahead.
I think most people feel that way. Just sort of, you just want to prove to, you know, not only to the other bakers, the show, and the people who put you on the show, that you're worthy of being there, but also to the people who are watching the show that you're worthy to be there, right? Whether it's true or not, it doesn't really matter. It's just what you feel. Yeah. So it was a fair comment and a very good one.
Yeah, it was nice to see. I mean, we've watched over the last few weeks how people have kind of gone from that initial nervous energy to kind of like settling in. Okay, here I am. These are the people that I'm with, and this is what I'm doing. And, you know, it's just such a wonderful experience. And I'm hoping that all of them are really taking that to heart. We're seeing a lot more of those fun little moments, like when Jen closed the fridge just as Marcus was walking up to it. And he just went,
he just like walked in. Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Those type of.
Yeah.
It was funny. Yeah. Marcus seems to have a very dry sense of humor.
Marcus is great.
I love Marcus.
Yeah. He was, and his.
Agreed.
His looked really great as well, aside from, you know, being a little bit, it got a little bit toasty.
Yeah.
But
a little sunburnt.
Sunburned.
But then they said it was baked perfectly when they were actually eating it. They said it was baked perfectly. And so if it is baked perfectly and you can get that browning, I'm all for it, because you're going to get more flavor as long as it's not burnt.
Crispy.
And it certainly wasn't burnt.
No.
And the curry butter sounded delicious as well. So,
and I thought his presentation was gorgeous as well, with the prosciutto dress, like how it was crossed over, you know, and then all of that work for Mother Nature's hair. I thought it was absolutely stunning. And I agree with you. I think, you know, I got maybe a little browner than they were maybe hoping to see, but I don't think it took anything away from Marcus's presentation, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It was very Lady Gaga.
It was very artistic, and they seemed to really like it, which is great. That it was seasoned well. It was good bounce, very soft, smelled amazing, and was cooked properly. So all of this stuff sounded so good. I'm not with you on the curry butter, but that's just me. I just don't prefer curry.
I'll take yours.
So you take it. It's all good. If it's mild, I'll try it. I'll always try it.
Yeah.
So speaking of Laura's beautiful peacock, I really, really liked that she had the Lebanese garlic sauce with that. That sounded amazing. And then also had the hummus on the side, and baking it in that round pan. So it was just such a lovely presentation with the peacock tail fanning out like that. Can't say enough about it. I mean,
I have the word speechless written down. I don't remember which judge said speechless, but that was that was a goodie. That was a good one.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And then she used the beet powder as well to get that really lovely pink color too, the signature Allura, which we've Signature pink Alora. There's always a little bit of pink everywhere in her. I don't think she's done anything except for the technicals without pink.
So you gotta have it.
Yeah. And beautiful work, and it sounded absolutely delicious.
Yeah, I think out of all of them, I think Laura's is the one I would probably go for. I love the hummus and the the garlic sauces, all that savoriness. And it looked really beautiful. And also, I haven't had a chance to say it yet, but Laura, she's like worked her way into my heart. Like, I love her now. Like, she's so sweet and so and just she's got this way about her that you just want to get to know her and just give her a hug. I love her.
Yeah, I think her and Marcus are quite similar in that sense, because I think they're just a little bit quieter, maybe a little, introverted, or just so focused on what they're doing, but their personalities are just so sweet and lovely. And I agree with you, Vincent. I really, want to get to know them more, because they're just they just seem like such lovely people.
Exactly.
Yeah. And their little giggles are so cute, right? Both the Laura's and Marcus's, they kind of are very similar to me in that sense, in terms of like the feelings that I get from watching them. And brilliant, both of them. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
Brilliant, beautiful bakers. Yeah. When they said at first that her bake was sinking in the middle of the a little bit, I thought maybe it was because it was slightly underbaked, because she was really worried about time for that, because it was on the thicker side. So that was the first thought that I had. But then Kyla said she thought it was the weight of the veggies. Didn't sound like it was, underdone at all, because they said it was a beautiful bake all around. So yeah, it sounded amazing.
Yeah, and a lot of work that went into cutting up all of the vegetables that she used, and it was so gorgeous. Yeah, very impressive that she pulled that off in, again, 2 hours and 15 minutes.
I know.
Very good.
It's crazy. So what did you think of Rita's giraffe? Hello? Are you there?
Well, first off, I was very concerned when she moved it to the top rack to I even wrote top rack ? I'm like, oh, please no. Have we not learned about the top rack? You already burnt the top of the Wellington, but she got through it. So that was good. I was very concerned. The giraffe itself, it was giraffe-y. It was abstract, but it was giraffe-y.
Yeah, it was like a
do I know that it would be a giraffe if I wasn't told it was a giraffe? Not 100% sure.
Oh, I think you would.
Would I?
Oh, I think so.
If you saw it in person.
So.
Yeah.
It was pretty giraffe-y. It was pretty.
It was pretty giraffe.
Giraffe-y.
Like, she even got the two
horns
for the horns. I love that. That was great. It was commented that it was a classic focaccia, and that's great. I thought it looked great, and it obviously tasted great, and what else can you say? It was just like, it was a good bake.
Yeah, it looked like a great book.
They said they got a lot of flavors. They could taste all the flavors in it, which was nice. It wasn't a one-note thing.
Yep. Yeah, and she got really emotional because that bake was dedicated to her mom. Yeah, that was lovely. I love how she had the little giraffe pin.
That was so cute. Yeah,
it was really cute. All right, Pamela with her focaccia wreath.
That's the one I would eat all day.
Yeah.
Cold cuts, herbs, honey, and you could hang it on your door, and just every time you come in and out, grab a piece. I'm on that. I am on that.
And wow, what a nice little tie-in to the holiday baking championship too. Just gonna say, just so nice little segue, Mr. Lovett. Of course, you're gonna love all the holiday themed bakes. But I agree with you. I think the flavors that she had there and her presentation was like absolutely beautiful and spot on. And the fact that it could actually hang and nothing fell off her wreath when they did put it horizontally or vertically. Yeah, that was impressive.
That was really beautiful.
Fig jam as glue, I guess.
Yes,
that's what
very
you said.
Clever.
Yeah,
fig and hazelnut. Yeah, I want to try fig hazelnut butter. Right? Fig
and she made her own butter.
Yeah.
Was she the one that made the butter? Who made the butter? She was like, somebody was making butter. I don't know.
Who was making butter.
Pamela did.
I made butter on bread week. They didn't even mention it. I mean, you're just whipping up cream, people. Come on. I
But
thought
it's an
I'd get
extra
big
step.
kudos. I thought I'd
It's an
get big
extra.
kudos. They barely even talked about. They didn't even talk about it in the tent. It's like, of course you made butter. Big deal.
Is that why they didn't show Pamela's face until after they said she's making butter, and she just kind of did a little knowing
Yeah,
look?
she's like,
Yes, I am.
Exactly.
It's really simple, but it's impressive.
but it is impressive, right? Because she didn't have to do that.
You didn't have to, unless it was, I was going to put whipped cream, but oops, I went a little too far. You know what? I meant to make butter the whole time.
Yeah, delicious.
There you go.
That would be what? Cold cuts and whipped cream.
Yeah, I'm on that too.
No.
Yes. It's the same ingredients. Why not?
I know. I just, yeah. Okay. Well, sure.
It just sounds wrong, though. It's whipped cream and cold cuts.
Stephen Levitt's Jewish portion of the show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's your birthday. Cold cuts and whipped cream sounds like a party game.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Well, next time I have a charcuterie, I'll be sure to have a big bowl of whipped cream in the middle of it.
As long as it's got fig and hazelnut in it.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? We can handle that. That's for sure. Yeah, it sounded really amazing. And it was an herb and honey focaccia, which
yum, yum.
Honey.
Hey.
Gotta love it. They said it cut nicely. It was a little light on the bake in the center, but it smelled good and it had good bounce back and good flavors. So way to go, Pamela. That was beautiful. That was a very nice. I mean, she did it just to tie into Steve's holiday baking championship.
Of course she did. She knew this moment would happen.
Thank you, Pam.
All right, Jen, let's talk about that kimono.
I loved it. I actually loved it. Every single detail was stunning on it.
It was.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
Did she use squid ink?
Did she? Yeah, she did. Sesame scallion and squid ink with a chili garlic crisp condiment.
Sounded good.
It did.
Man, and I always next level when you're baking something black. Because
who
knows?
Yeah, you never know when it's done.
I burnt a lot of black cocoa powder cookies before I knew how long they have to bake for.
Yeah. Because you just don't know. So in bread, though, I think you could just stick it with a thermometer, right? And check the doneness that way. That would probably be the easiest or most reliable way of doing that. But but cookies would be difficult to do that for sure.
Yeah.
Anything black, you still have to be careful. And she did use her own starter as well, as we said before. Bruno waxed poetic instantaneously as soon as he saw it. He was just stunned by how it looked. It was gorgeous. Great sponginess, had a nice sea salt finish at the end, and her side complemented it perfectly. That's the one. This is the one that I would want to taste. I don't know what squid ink tastes like. Does it taste like it much, or is it just for color? It's very fishy?
No, not very fishy. It tastes a little fishy. It has a taste.
Okay, well, with the sesame and the scallion. Sorry?
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, I thought that was just beautiful. I was impressed by how she baked it, how she had like the molds inside the pan. So she created the shape of the kimono right from the start, rather than baking, different pieces and putting them together, or else taking a full rectangle and cutting it out. It was just absolutely lovely and so intricate, all the designs that she put on there. And it was interesting to me because I was thinking about the difference between, Elora's, all that design, all the vegetables that she cut up for it, and Jen's, how it was just like beautiful and intricate. And then you have Erica's, which was simplistic, quote unquote. I'm not going to say it wasn't simplistic, but simple with, like you said, kind of the one note flavor. But would it have been as effective as it was if she had done anything more? I don't think so. I think it was exactly perfect.
Yeah, it was.
Thoughts?
And focaccia for me across the board, I mean, it's all about the bake. It's about the crust being really, really like nice and like almost shattering with the salt and the oil, and then the bread being really not rubbery, but kind of like a really good bounce back. That's what focaccia is for me. Everything else is whatever. So, kudos to Erica for just for doing her thing and just making the bread the star, right?
Yeah.
So, and all of these, in fact, the whole show, everybody did so well. I'd have no idea how they made the decision on who went home.
I agree with you.
Everything was so close. Like all of these signatures, there wasn't one, not one that was like, oh, you know, it was underbaked, it was horrible, it was bad. They were all excellent.
Yeah, this was the first time I can remember seeing a signature where I heard 0 negatives, not even a little bit of a negative. That's 6 bakes.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. And that it was a 2-hour, 15-minute focaccia as well.
Exactly. Where a lot could have gone wrong.
Yeah. Marcus,
I have someone who's out ahead already, but it was like, wow, we have 6 people still at the starting line. Because they're all equal right now.
Yep. Marcus the only one had a little bit of a browning issue, and that was it.
Yeah, that's it. Well, and like Kyla said, as they were going into the showstopper later on, she was just like, what did she say about not with this caliber of bakers? Like the bakes, the baking, everything has been so high quality this season.
Yeah, you can't be average.
Yeah. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah. And with that, we moved into perhaps the most difficult and intricate technical that I've ever seen, although Vincent is still saying, okay, they're both saying no.
I mean, I want to make this I want it because I've always wanted to make an origami exterior, always. And it's actually very, very similar to the technical we had on which week was it? It was where we had to make a mousse entremet, because I said if they're making mousse, that means they're gonna have to have their styrofoam boxes with their dry ice, and sure enough they did. And I said, I remember saying I'll just switch lids if mine screws up, and of course mine screwed up, but yeah, it except for the origami that was extra, but I mean it was a lot of similar, like even down to the tweel, we had to do tweels on the top.
And that was the week that Steve didn't come in first in the technical.
Yeah, that was week 2, so it was celebration week.
Was that the week you came in first in the technical, Vincent?
Not just in the technical.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. We know what happened that episode. Yeah. That's why Vincent's sitting back like
he's all That's when the snowball started rolling down the hill and gathering steam. But we digress.
That was
we did
week, I think, wasn't it?
It was what?
Celebration week, I
think that was heat stroke week.
It was heat stroke week. That was the hottest week in the history of the tent. Yeah.
I was not allowed. 2 of us were not allowed in the tent until the very last second during the judging for the technical.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed.
After it was over, they had to remain elsewhere.
Yep.
Whoa.
We couldn't listen to any of the judging.
No. And then we had mandatory cooling during the showstopper too.
Oh wow.
Yep. 10 minutes of mandatory cooling.
Yeah.
Wow.
Something. It was 42 degrees in the tent.
Oh my God.
Degrees. It was insane. And then when they do the judging for the technical, or any of the judging, mostly the technical, all the air conditioners go off, all the fans go off, because they need
too loud.
They need complete silence for the mics. So that's why they didn't let us back in. And you know, it's basically sitting in a enclosed car in the middle of a parking lot.
Exactly. You wouldn't do it to your dog.
I know
they don't recommend doing it for anybody, anything.
But bakers, come on in.
Yeah, and you know what? While you're at it, make some mousse.
Yes. Well, at least it wasn't an ice cream challenge.
Right. But a little foreshadowing. We'll get to the ice cream challenge coming up.
All right. So they had 2 hours and 30 minutes to make this entremet, this origami entremet with vanilla sponge, cherry gelée, white chocolate, cherry blossom mousse. I was just like, are you kidding me? This is probably the first time in 5 years that I have been like, I might not do this technical. But now I'm like, okay, I've committed. I've bought the cherry blossom powder and the blue luster spray. Okay, here we go. Let's do it. So yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be beautiful, but you know what? That amount of icing, not a big fan, right? Because you have to put like that thick layer of icing to make the origami shape.
It was at least a centimeter thick to make it work properly.
Mhm.
But you know what? You have it. I looked at it like it's sort of like an egg, right? You put that on to make it look beautiful, and when you cut into it, just push it aside, and then eat the good stuff in the middle.
Yeah.
What do you put on your eggs to make them look beautiful?
Well, I don't eat the shell.
Oh, okay. But it makes it look beautiful.
Well, yeah, if you make an Easter egg, you're not going to eat the shell, but it's beautiful, right?
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, that made
That
sense.
makes sense. But it's funny
I
that
was thinking the white around the yolk.
the piece of advice the judges gave was don't lose your cool. Okay, so you're going to tell these bakers to bake 2 of these on origami entremets in 2.5 hours with all of these elements. I know you guys are like, oh yeah, no worries, because that other one, that
delizia limone
was like way over the top. But this was a lot as well. So
it is a lot.
Yeah.
But Steve is right. It did compare a lot to the peanut butter entremet that we did on Halloween day. It was very, very similar, except we did 1 and they did 2.
Yeah.
But the gelée looked amazing. I'm really curious to know what cherry blossom tastes like. No idea.
I know. Yeah, that was one of the things. I put it in my cart on Amazon, and then I was like, I don't know if I want to spend $20 on cherry blossom syrup when I know how much I despise orange blossom. And so I was kind of like, maybe I'll just make a cherry syrup or use a cherry syrup instead. Because
I was gonna use elderflower syrup.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But
it won't be as pretty.
Powder.
You could add some pink.
It was powder they used.
And syrup.
If you've looked at the recipe, there's cherry blossom syrup, cherry blossom powder, and like 400 grams of cherries.
Oh, okay.
To make the gelée. So I think I'm okay without the cherry blossom flavor for this time. Maybe I'll add some of the powder in to that and see what I can do, but I'll have to use something else for the syrup. Anyway, this is not about me. I digress. People already did this in the tent. 6 people did this.
And they all did it fairly well as well.
Yes,
like that's crazy how beautiful the majority of them all looked.
Yes.
0 disasters. Some unmolding issues here and there, but no actual disasters, which, I mean, that thing was rife for a disaster.
It really was.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really impressive, actually. I like how Pamela said it was a bad day to wear white. Definitely not a good thing to get cherries all over your white clothes. Erica said she thought she liked technicals, but this might change her mind. Also said it tastes pink, which I thought was pretty great. So Laura probably liked how pink that was. Yeah, I didn't put a lot of notes about what they were actually doing during the technical. I was just thinking about how frustrating and stressful it would be to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. They all look good. You know, if you didn't fill the origami paper well, then you're gonna get the air bubbles and stuff like that. Many of them.
Yeah.
Let's start with I guess Jen, who was perfect.
Yeah.
Like, and then she unmolded that and she put it down. It was like, wow, that is just perfection. And that's especially when you're using cardboard, you know.
It's because she followed the constructions.
Yes. Well, and
that was cute.
Wasn't she the one who really loves to do origami?
Yeah.
She's very artsy.
Yeah.
She really likes all art stuff. Yeah.
Akers was a big origami fan. So I don't know if it was her, but it came out stunningly beautiful.
Yeah. The only thing was that her sponge was a bit dense, and they wanted a little bit more of that cherry blossom flavor, or at least Kyla did. But man, it looked beautiful with the precision and the definition on that. Man,
I love her. She's my kind of gal.
Yes. She just puts her head down and works away and comes up with a work of art.
Everything is like,
yeah.
You know, like everything is tight and sharp. I love it.
Yeah. But she had some struggles with the actual, the cake and the mousse itself. I mean, not so much the cake, the sponge I think was all right, but she did have a gummy mousse, and she also needed to ramp up the cherry blossom as well.
That was Alora.
Yeah. Laura had the gummy mousse. Yeah.
Laura had the gummy mousse.
Gimme.
Yeah.
And she also,
Jen was,
and her edges were a little bit off.
Yeah.
And she also didn't have the extra layer of cherry mousse on top of the gelée.
Did you see that? I was wondering.
Yeah, the first thing I noticed was, because I think she was one of the first ones that got cut open, and I noticed that doesn't have mousse on top of the jelly.
Like, yes, it was supposed to be sponge, mousse, gelée, mousse, sponge, right? Because it was encased. Yeah. And
I found that she has had that happen a couple of times now.
I was going to say she's up to her old tricks, like with the wafer cookies.
The wafer cookies.
It's just the technical.
She's like, it doesn't matter. So were they shorter then, or did she just repeat it 3 times instead? I don't know.
Actually made the bottom layer thicker of mousse.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, maybe. Marcus kind of struggled with this one, with the creating the angles, and his buttercream wasn't adhered. They kept saying confidence, that they didn't show enough confidence with attaching it onto the entremet to the layers. And his mousse was well set and the cake was good, but it lacked some white chocolate taste. So this is when I started to be like, oh no, Marcus. Yeah. But then again, any of them, right? Any of them, if they were any of them showing a little bit of like not as perfect as I want them to be, I'd be like, don't go home. I don't want you to go home.
Rita had challenges with the technical too. She ended up coming in the top 6, as she called it. She's in the top 6 out of 6. Because she had some real struggles too with her unmolding, and her buttercream was like it needed to be whipped a little bit more. So she definitely had some challenges there as well. So so I think they're on the technical side, Marcus and Rita both, I think, equally struggled a bit with the bake.
So what is that? Buttercream is not whipped enough.
They said that it wasn't aerated. No, that was the sponge lacked aeration.
Yeah, it could have been maybe it was separating a bit, sometimes, because it was an Italian meringue buttercream. So like when she added the butter, probably just didn't whip it enough, so it was perfectly emulsified, maybe. That's the only thing I can think of.
The only thing I can think of too, but then you would notice that, would you not?
Well, maybe they had a better look at what they show on TV, right? You don't have the close-up. So maybe it was maybe a little bit too airy, or maybe it was even slightly separating. I don't know. Right? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she had struggled with the unmolding, so that definitely could be part of why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Pamela also had challenges with her unmolding.
Uneven buttercream. Sponge was nice. Good textures overall.
Yeah.
Just the unmolding was the only knock on her.
Yeah. Everything else was perfect.
Nice light mousse.
But Erica, on the other hand.
Erica, for somebody who doesn't like technicals.
No, she did like technicals. They said that.
Sorry, that's correct.
They like technicals, but this might change her mind. Yeah.
Well, I don't think it will.
No, Erica had never made an entremet before. That's what they said. Impressive.
Yeah, I never made an entremet either.
I think.
I had made one failed entremet before the tent, like horribly. I had to keep it in the freezer or it was gonna fall apart.
Oh, I've only made one ever.
But now I make them. Ever since the tent, I love making entremets. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Oh, okay.
I love making mirror glazes, entremet. I'm happy I bought molds because I like toys. Yeah, I love them. When Vincent's place, I made an entremet.
You did, and it was beautiful.
So when you gave me my face cookie.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my goodness, so delicious. I love entremets as well. It's just all the components. I think that I'm still a lazy enough baker that I'm like, I don't feel like doing all that. Do something else instead.
Really, it's like a layer cake, but it just has like and instead of doing like a buttercream design on it, you layer it upside down and then, you know, unmold it kind of thing. Or generally, this one's a little bit different with the origami, but a typical one, you would just, instead of doing all the decor with your buttercream, you just use mirror glaze generally.
There's a lot of components. It's just like the gelée, then you have to move a sponge, and then you have to do. It's just too much work.
So you're lazy like me?
I don't have the space.
I'm all about precision. That's me. That's what I am.
You are. You're like precision.
Okay. All right. I really liked what Erica did with the tweel and made it a little bird shaped. I thought that was really cool how they did that. So yeah, clean defined angles, creative interpretation on the tweel. The icing was tacked neatly against the cake. The gelée had a nice tang. There was a good sponge, a nice light soft mousse. Nearly perfect, and I don't know how you did it, said Bruno. So
that was
pretty
incredible.
high praise.
Yeah, it was stunning.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rita was 6th, as you said, out of 6. Good job. Top 6. Marcus was 5th. Elora came in 4th. Jen was 3rd. Pamela was 1st, 2nd, and Erica got 1st.
Pamela wasn't near the bottom. That must have felt like such a great victory for her.
Yeah.
She'd struggled in the technicals up until this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did great on that one.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Nice.
And then we moved on. So how kawaii was this for you, Vincent? Was it too kawaii?
No, it was not.
Okay, good.
It wasn't cool.
I actually loved this this challenge because I've wanted to make it for a very, very long time. And I just never have the opportunity to make one. Like, what am I going to do with it, right?
Yeah. You can do what I did. I made mine and I took it to work and said, it's not really my birthday cake, but I had a cake and I needed to do something with it. So here, have some birthday cake.
Yeah, I know it was very cool. And what was really, really cool was to see them all sitting on the table at the end, just like they were chatting, and it was just purse and like the ice cream. It just looked so fun and festive and light, and that's what I really loved about this challenge, and this episode in general, and the fact that like Rita came up with like the best line I've ever heard. Well, not the best line, one of the best lines I've ever heard on the Canadian show. The oh, you must. This is I'm almost 38 years in my and it feels like 5 minutes underwater.
Oh my God, that was so good. And then Anne's comment back to her. So I guess I was going to ask you what the secret was, but now I know it's probably a good sense of humor.
That
very wise words indeed.
That was great.
Oh, I was laughing so hard. That was a really good line. I love how she throws those things out there. I was talking to her on the weekend, and because she had posted a story saying dishwasher's ready because she was baking a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, how many dishwashers do you have? And she has 2 dishwashers, and she said that's why the crib game is so important, because if you remember in her beginning, in her little opener bio, she plays all of these crib games with her husband, and the loser has to empty the dishwasher. So yeah, you gotta beat that so that you don't have to empty 2 dishwashers. I really liked it. Yeah, so Elora did that beautiful purse with the little tiny, she had the little cherry blossom type flowers, pink flowers, so the little Elora signature on there. Mojito cake, and she does not drink alcohol. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she did a lime curd. What did I say? Lime curd and buttercream. It was such a beautiful slice when they opened it up and looked inside. And apparently she got all the flavors spot on, even though she didn't taste test the alcohol.
Yeah, and she used fresh mint. Yeah, and she used fresh mint as well, which is which is can be
much better
tricky.
than using extract.
That's true.
That was a good move.
Yeah,
You don't want to taste,
especially with the mojito flavor. as well. If you were wanting to get that true mojito flavor, the fresh mint would have been instrumental in that for sure.
I mean, I was
Did she muddle it?
When I saw her covering it with fondant and I'm looking at the thickness of the fondant, I was a little worried, to be honest, but I think it was a wise decision to err on the side of thickness because they know they're getting fondant, so you might as well just go.
Yeah.
Instead of putting a thin one, like, well, it should just be eliminated. But if you're going to use it, you might as well just make it thick. No one's going to eat it anyway, and make sure it stays.
Yeah. And she is a heavy fondant user because what was it? It was during Cake Week. She did fondant for, was it the Showstopper as well? I can't remember. Yes, the geode cake that she did. And remember, she had loaded on, like it was thick fondant on that one too.
Comment about that.
Pardon?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
About that. But
yeah.
I mean, I made the mojito mousse tart in the finale as well. And, you know, I was like watching this and thinking, damn it, I wish mine tasted as good as hers.
Hers did look so delicious.
That was all alcohol. That's all I say. I'm going to get you hammered. So,
then all you can say is good. Yeah.
I learned something there that day. I did learn that you can't just add alcohol to milk-based product or dairy-based products because the flavor will be muted by the milk, but the alcohol will remain. All you taste is alcohol. So what I did from that critique from the judges was boil off the alcohol, make sure you extract the flavors from the you know, reduced alcohol, and then put that in, and you will get better flavor. And you know, live and learn.
Yeah.
And you know, it was great to see that mojito cake because I was like, I did the same thing, and I used fresh mint too, and but just all they tasted was alcohol. But you know, good job.
So she did it. Well done, Elora.
It was like one of the top 2 of my favorite cakes on this episode. It was
and visually, as she was putting it together, as she put the flap over, it just started to come together visually, just beautifully. It just made me happy to watch it because you know when you start and you see the sides and it's like, but then as she's finished it up, it just started really coming together beautifully. And the judges remarked, right, the stitching on it and all the detail that she did,
and very smart. Like the shape of the cake was very it was very stable, big on the bottom, thin at the top, and it was effective, right? Like at first I thought, what does a purse have to do with mojito? But it doesn't matter, I guess. So
I thought that was my only disconnect for me was that exact thing. Actually, I thought the same thing.
Purse, a small purse, you could see it sticking over. You're sipping on your mojito. It's got the price tag still on it. You're shopping around.
I love that.
Yes. Oh, I was seeing all kinds of shishi foo happening.
I'm good with that. I'm totally good with shopping at a nice high-end purse shop with the mojito in hand. Give me that day any day.
I mean, it sounds good. I love that.
Come to my world.
Price tag on there. That's your world.
I need to.
Shopping for a high-priced handbag while you're drinking a mojito.
I'm a Renaissance man.
First thing I think of when I think of Stephen Levitt.
Shopping at a high-end store for a purse for his wife.
I just see him holding his purse. You know, it's just hanging there.
Gotta
delicious. Okay, Pamela made a mocha chocolate cake topped with marshmallows. She used that torched Swiss meringue buttercream.
This made me so happy. The flavors in this are my flavors. The visual of it was great. Now, I don't know if she torched the meringue like that for the camera. I hope so, because otherwise, man, that takes way too long, because I torch all the time the meringue, and no, you just get in there and you torch it and you spin it and you torch it and you spin it. But because the flavor of it is phenomenal when you do that. But all those flavors like that to me was, it was like a giant mug of s'mores. Oh boy, that was, I wanted all of that cake.
I'm with you completely 100%. I think this cake was amazing. The detail, the fun, right down to like the little mocha sign that she did on the front, pink mug. I mean, I thought it was just absolutely brilliant execution, and the flavor profile was spot on with the theme, right? So it's a hot mug of mocha cocoa, and that's what she pulled off. Inside, outside matched brilliantly. And we talked about how great Pamela is at doing that exact thing, matching her bakes to the flavors. The decor and the flavors always married up really nicely together.
It's a theme. Yeah, she carries through the theme.
Yeah. Can we talk about her
because she said it was.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, can we just talk about how awesome her coffee bakes are? Because I mean, she slayed last week. I thought last week's coffee and tea episode with all her coffee-based bakes. This is another one. She came back with that mocha, adding the chocolate on there. I think maybe that might be her favorite flavor combo.
I gotta say though, now that you've said that, they said that there was more coffee needed.
That's true.
In this one.
That's true.
So, and if she is putting it across as a mocha, then you need to have that coffee forward flavor, which she is excellent at doing, because I did make her cake from last week and it was insane. So good. Yeah.
I've got to try that one.
In this case, she missed the mark just by maybe that much, just because of the fact that
a little
she
bit
put
more
it forward
coffee.
as mocha.
Yeah.
Quite clearly spelled out mocha, so she needed a bit more mocha flavor. But they didn't have anything else bad to say. It was realistic all the way to the foam on the top. The fondant was really smooth. It looked like ceramic. There was great bounce and the cake, and I think they were just searching for something to say, and they said, well, after tasting last week's, I just need a little bit more coffee in this
week's. Audio is cutting out in and out a little bit there, hon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it was just
so yeah, I was surprised how many people use extruders. Like,
oh really? Why?
Because I would have just piped it on. It's so much faster. Why would you use an extruder? And those extruders, it's like a half a centimeter thick. I mean, it's so thick.
Yeah.
You need to have a line like that for a cake like this.
Those were my exact thoughts. Well, I was watching it and I said, I'd love to use an extruder, and maybe there's different ones, but they seem to be super, super thick, like too thick for what they were making. And I was actually saying to the TV, like, I would have piped, because I could have gotten much better lines. But and faster, but the extruder would work. But I maybe it's what the extruders they were given, because they seemed to all be using the same one. The opening was just way too big.
They had a very big opening.
You'd have to have a pretty big cake to need an extruder that thick.
Right, exactly. The only thing I would say about that is that if you're doing fondant, it's a lot easier to control and be precise about it, because you're layering it on and you're gluing it on. But it's too thick. It looks a bit chunky to me. Anyway, my comments.
I have the same extruder, and there are different plates you can put on. And when I did my cartoon cake yesterday, I put a slightly smaller hole, because that was the first thought that I had too, was they're using a really big hole and making a really thick line. Is my audio working?
Yes.
But I do think it would be easier, just if you are covering it with fondant, it is a little bit easier to just put fondant on fondant. And you've got the consistency of the same exact thickness of the line, which is going to also help with that illusion of the cartoon cake. But Rita did a fantastic job with piping her lines on with buttercream.
Yeah.
But the thing is that the lines don't actually need to be perfect.
They don't.
Because they can be broken and dotted.
Yeah.
Look okay. And the fact that you don't have, like, you're having constipation trying to get this thing out of the extruder is also a bonus.
I don't know why they were pushing on it. You don't have to push on it. You just spin the thing.
I think it wasn't coming out fast enough. So it looked, I seriously thought that she needed fiber.
She needed fiber. I also think that shot they did was they were doing a competition on who could extrude faster between Marcus and Pamela. It was a contest on that. And I think maybe Pamela was trying to like push it in, maybe seeing if that was going to work faster. I don't know.
I know she was doing it. Very funny. I just like.
Yeah, it was a funny clip.
So who else are we looking at here?
Yeah, you mentioned Rita. So Rita's.
Yeah, I don't ever want to try pushing it through.
She did a great job. I mean, she did so many components, those cars. It was just beautiful. It sounded good. When Bruno said it was, his last comment was, it just tasted like an orange float. As soon as he said that, I could taste, I'm so salivating right now. I could taste that in my mouth, like almost like eating a creamsicle. Like it just sounded so good and it looked so cool.
It really did when they spun it.
Yeah.
And you could actually see, like, what a brilliant idea, actually, because she went from doing the regular cartoon, like a static cartoon, to an actual cartoon. Yeah, which is brilliant.
I didn't see the zoetrope. I mean,
I didn't.
It was there, and I wish it worked because I've actually done one before, and it looks really cool when you spin it. I didn't find, unfortunately, did that. It's very hard to do.
Yeah.
Especially in the cookie form. Oh my gosh, to try to do it, because each cookie has to be a little bit different size and a different shape, right? So, but great idea.
Yeah.
And, I love the idea. Definitely. I didn't find that it didn't really look like it was actually animating it, but the idea behind it, I think, was fantastic. I don't think it was her intent that it was going to actually end up looking like, a movie. I mean, it would be like making a flip book out of cookies. It'd be hard to do.
Well, if you're calling it that, then you pretty well have a plan that.
Okay.
It said that the cookies were excellent, very big on the raspberry flavor. That's what I can remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the cake had a pound-like texture that was a positive.
Yeah. Good with that all day long.
Yeah.
And she very rich with an amazing orange curd.
Yeah, and she was one of 2 bakers who did not use fondant. Her and Erica both did not use fondant, instead chose buttercream for their
and both of them went nostalgia.
Yep, they totally
did. Erica's going for that Jello mold. That was fabulous.
I love that too.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love the use of the shading of the different colors of green to kind of give that illusion of the glistening or the wobble on it. Kyla's been using that word a lot, and I'm like, I just don't like the word glistening anymore.
If there was use like what do you call it? Mirror glaze? That would use mirror glaze.
Yeah. That is true.
I'm surprised that she didn't. She made the individual lumps that go on the top to make it look like a mold.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just use a mold?
Yeah.
The jelly mold. You know what I mean?
Would that be too easy?
Well,
doesn't matter.
But who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very, very good question.
Let me tell you about a baker who was in our season who made a sheet, an acetate sheet, so she could make cookies and knock out this magnificent Tiffany lamp. That was easy, but that's smart.
Yeah.
That's true.
Anything you can do is smart. It's not a matter. If you can make your life easier in that tent, that is the smartest thing you can do because there are enough obstacles. It's like running a 110-meter hurdle race, but there's 45 hurdles. That's the difference between what the Olympians do and what we're doing in the tent. It's a constant hurdle. So if you can remove 5 or 6 of those hurdles, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I definitely turned out looking good. It was a lime chiffon cake, which sounds really, really good to me. Filled with ube and passion fruit ganaches, kind of alternating like a checkerboard. Sounded good.
Yep, it looked good.
Jelly molds are not good.
Yep, it looked good and sounded good.
Yeah, I'll have that jelly mold any day.
Yes.
Other jelly mold salads.
That would be the only kind I would want.
I think
don't you dare give me a Jello salad with vegetables in Jello.
Hot dogs and stuff in it? No.
Traumatized. Traumatized from the 70s.
What is that?
Glistening.
I'm going to send you a video then. I think I sent it to Vincent and the gang once upon a time. You will laugh. You better wear a diaper. You're going to laugh very hard.
Yes, it is one of the best vintage baking videos I've ever seen. And I started following him after.
Me too.
Sent me that. He's fantastic.
All right.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
You'll have to post it for everybody now because you've mentioned it publicly.
Yes.
So, yeah. Okay, so the chiffon cake had amazing pillowy texture. The lime could be amped up a bit, and so could the passion fruit. But, you know, Erica has a weird fascination with vintage foods, and I think did it justice. Definitely.
I think
like
so
we said,
too.
we'd rather have this than an actual Jell-O mold. So, and Marcus had Piggy make an appearance.
Why didn't
you excited,
Piggy come
Cristina?
with him? I don't understand.
I'm with you,
Could've
Stephen.
been
I'm like,
there.
oh, Piggy and Smart, is he gonna be in the tent? And then he wasn't.
That was
Where is
such a
Piggy gonna
letdown.
sit? No,
That little
not enough
piggy
space.
that little piggy went home, and that wasn't cool.
No.
Oh.
And maybe if Piggy
It was
was
huge.
there, it might have made a difference.
That thing is huge. It's a size
Yeah,
of
that's what I was saying.
So cute.
There is no room for a stuffed pig, and
Yes, you put it on the back by the back fake sink. That's where you put it.
That's true.
Oh.
To have your well snuggled.
You're cutting in and out.
Cutting in and out
The
again, my
universe
dear.
has decided that what you're saying
Oh, no.
poorly about my idea for the pig is wrong. That's why it cut your audio out. So what
I
we've been
just
saying
said
while you were
I
trying to
don't know.
talk is that you're wrong, and he should have brought his pig.
He should have brought his pig. I'm with you, Stephen. 100%.
Well,
I just said I don't know about the back fake sink, so maybe you're right, and that's what I was saying.
You make room for your stuffed piggy.
I would agree with that, but I'm sure that pig was a little bit too valuable for him to bring anywhere. But on that note, his when I was watching him put together his cake and Larry, I was just like,
no,
that is going to slide like no tomorrow. And lo and behold, it started to slide. And then once you saw the jelly coming out of the side of that thing, there's no saving it.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
have
when they showed the finished cake and he was talking about the stability of it, and he touched it and the whole thing moved, and I said, oh no, you need a blast chiller fast, and you don't have one. This is not gonna be good.
You couldn't even feel that thing to be stable. Like, you have to remove that layer, scrape it off, start again, rebuild, build it with a double dam. That's it.
And then to put that big honking piece of fondant on top, the weight on top of a cake that's not stable. Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's why it looked like,
Lumpy.
Piggy was having a bit of a day.
Yeah.
It looked like the way I would put fondant on a cake, unfortunately.
Yeah. And here's the thing, he could have actually, was fondant the right choice for Piggy anyway, because he probably could have used like a pink frosting and did kind of like fur on him, maybe, right? Because he was, or maybe I guess pigs aren't really furry, but he could have, but he could. I mean, Piggy was furry because he was a stuffed pig. So he probably had fur. So you could have done a different texture.
You didn't even have to, like, you're 100% right. He could have just did Swiss marine buttercream and smoothed it out, because I've done it a million times with like round ball cakes and spheres. You can, it looks so smooth, better than fondant, and faster, because fondant, it can tear, it gets wrinkly, it
dries out.
It's dry. It looks terrible after if you don't do it perfectly.
Yeah, and because
when it started to shift a little bit, it started to get like, fat rolls.
Yeah, and then elephant skin, and
yeah.
Whereas with the buttercream would, like you said, would be forgiving. It's supposed to be a stuffy. So even if it's not perfectly smooth, doesn't matter. When you're done, you crumple up a paper towel and you start to dapple it to give it that effect. And now you've got a perfectly made stuffy. Put on your lines, not from an extruder, because on his specifically, the lines just looked so big compared to the pig. It was just
Did he have? How did he do the snout?
Well, he put a circle of fondant around the snout.
Was it cake?
I don't know.
We'll have to look back.
Because I thought he was going to do cake snout and then put fondant over the whole thing and sort of like work around it, but he didn't do that. I'm not sure what the snout was made out of. And if that was fondant, oh my gosh, that must have weighed like a half a pound.
A dowel sticking right into its schnoz.
Oh, well, how Bruno said it looked like a pig that had been well hugged for a long
Yes.
time. So maybe the little bit of slumping kind of lent to that effect.
Okay.
So yeah, putting the one piece of fondant on there was not a fantastic way to do it for Marcus. The Genoise sponge had a nice texture with a distinct orange flavor. Maybe don't do the orange and the blueberry with chocolate. Maybe pick one or the other.
Yeah, I think he could have done like a nice orange curd through there with the chocolate buttercream, or because I think he used or with the chocolate. Chocolate buttercream he had. I knew there was chocolate somewhere in there. It might have actually been all he needed. He probably didn't need that extra blueberry in there at all.
Too many flavors.
Mm-hmm.
Just those things, and I hate that. Well, I don't hate that. I don't do it.
Yeah. Well, and blueberry is I don't think a bold enough flavor to work with all that. It gets lost with chocolate.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you use it with white chocolate or with lemon, or, you know, it's just, it can live there, but with orange and chocolate, it's going to get lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You think?
Yeah, it was a fair comment, I think.
Yeah. All right. Now we go on to Jen and her sad little ice cream coconut cakes. Yeah. One of which had a lemon curd and one had a raspberry filling.
It was adorable. I loved this cake. It was so pretty. It was, I have nothing but great things to say about this one. The execution was there. Flavors were on point. It was brilliant.
Smart. Another smart build. You know, half spheres on the table, covered in fondant with extra fondant around it,
with the waffle cone coming through. Yep.
What's not to love? It's beautiful, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And effective and clean.
Yeah.
So clean.
Very clean.
Yeah. And they actually specifically said not only just clean as far as the look, but clean flavor. Flavor and a really well made curd. Really well made curd, which is, you know, you don't want to have a runny curd in there.
Nope.
No.
And I love Kyla's comment about lemon curd going perfectly with everything. I completely agree.
But this is Kyla, right? So you give her lemon or raspberry. Folks, if you're listening and you make it to the tent, right here, this is what she likes, right?
Yes,
here.
right there.
She likes it tart.
Yeah.
She likes the pucker.
And Jen obviously knew that and gave her both. She gave them lemon and also raspberry.
She's a student of the game.
Yeah.
That's my world too. I love it. Happy to do it anytime. Those
fresh flavors are so nice. Yeah, really, really good. And so Jen got Star Baker.
Woohoo!
And yes.
And deserved.
Yeah. What did you guys? You thought she deserved it? Yeah.
Yeah,
she definitely deserved it.
I had noted it was maybe Alora, but I thought it was between Jen and Pamela. And but definitely, like, I like to write it down before they tell them, and I couldn't decide between Jen and Pamela, and if I gun to my head, it was going to be Jen, and I think no-brainer that it was going to be Marcus, unfortunately.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I was leaning toward Erica for Star Baker, actually.
I had her in my top 3 for the week.
Yeah. But Marcus, unfortunately, I think that we all knew that was coming, and it was kind of sad to see it really happen. I said, no, we need our man in the tent.
I know, he was the last. He was the last man standing. And now we know the finale is going to be 3 of these amazing 5 bakers that will be in that tent. And I can't wait for that. And another interesting little tidbit, I don't know if you know, but 5 out of 7 bakers who won week 5 went on to win the whole thing.
Really?
Oh,
see, Vincent, you won week 5.
I did.
There you go.
I won week 5
and week 3.
And week 3. Rafa caught 1 week 5, I believe. And Andre may have won week 5. So yes, there were a number of week 5 winners.
Yep, 5.
Yep.
5, maybe 6.
Maybe 6.
Maybe 6 if this is a predictor of the person who takes the cake plate.
Well, listen,
putting it out there.
Any of these 5 can do it. Yeah, I mean, I always say that, right? Any of the 10 can, but you know, the more you go on and the more you see, it would not surprise me for any of these 5 to walk away with the plate.
Absolutely.
Well, she's my last pick standing.
Who is? Jen?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what a spectacular week all around.
Yeah.
I mean, it was stunning to watch. And Vincent, you said, you know, it was so colorful. It really was. It was such a fabulous week. I loved how we just saw a little bit more of everybody's personality too this week. And I guess because they were down to 6 bakers. So maybe everybody had just a little bit more time on the screen that you could actually see who they were. Like, I love Pamela is just so joyous in that tent. And I just love all of her cool, like, cute little, adorable little expressions that she has, or little like, whoop, you know, and Erica, of course, she's just so fun. And Rita with all her little commentary, Alora with her giggle. Jen's very focused, but she even had a couple of like little cute moments as well. You know, and comments too. So it's such a beautiful cast. I think this season, the Bakers are all warm, wonderful, great human beings, and mad skilled, talented. And you're right, Stephen, any one of the 10 that started out, but certainly these last 5 standing, anybody can take that cake plate.
Yeah, I mean, when you have 18 bakes and really there's only one of the 18 bakes had any sort of major flaws, that's something. Like Marcus's showstopper, other than that, there were little things here and there, and you'd have to search for them. Yeah. 17 bakes out of 18. That's a good week.
Yeah. And Marcus is so incredibly talented. Yeah. It's I was really sad to see his departure from the tent, because of course he was in my top 3 as well.
Yes.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like we said, anybody can have a bad day or a bad bake. And we'll get to talk to Marcus hopefully and see what he has to say about his experience in the tent, and get to hear him giggle again. So that'll be nice.
That'll be really nice.
And it just keeps getting harder. It's so much harder for them, I know, because they're family. But it's harder for all of us invested in the show, because we come to know them much more, love them much more, see their talent much more, and it's painful to watch them go.
Yeah,
it is. It really is.
It's going to be heart-wrenching over the next few weeks.
Yeah. Well, next week looks like Nature Week.
Nature?
Macarons are going to be a making.
Nature, botanical.
I thought they said pastry.
Oh, they said nature.
Nature.
Okay, nature. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay,
I wrote it wrong. I miswrote the word nature and wrote pastry.
I heard pastry too.
Yeah,
really?
My ears.
Really?
I thought, we're back to a regular week like I'm used to. No, nature.
We've had 2 regular weeks, and that's it.
I didn't hear them say anything what week it was, because all I saw was all the bakes, and they looked crazy. It looked so good. And moving forward from this point on, the technicals are only going to get more stressful.
Yeah.
Oh, my Amazon bill, man.
Amazon bill is going to go through the roof.
Right?
It's going to get more crazy. It's going to get more. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I know that.
Oh, you're frozen again, Lisa.
It's a good look, though.
Yeah, not bad, right?
It's not one of these.
Yeah.
That's usually how they get you.
Or the blade.
This
She wants to come back so badly.
Yeah, I know, right?
Don't go into the light, Lisa. Don't.
Because I'm recording my iPhone.
She's trying to rip the Band-Aid off.
Why are they laughing? You were frozen, my dear. Oh no, you're frozen again. But that's a really cute look too.
It is.
Yeah, she's
I can hear you guys.
The future. It's looking bright. Oh, now we completely lost her.
Oh, Vincent's now the host.
All right.
You're the other half. Oh,
cool.
Wow. This is kind of changed to a very different podcast. If I'm the host.
This is our big plan is finally working out, Vincent. Shh.
Right. That's what I just talking about.
I'm still here.
And there's a reason why 50% of my footage from that show was not usable.
Nope. You're sideways now, but you're clear.
There you go. You're good now.
Hang on.
There we go.
Okay, wait.
You're back.
You're back.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what that recording looks like.
Well, Vincent and Stephen were just about to take over our whole podcast, so I'm glad you're back, sister.
I tried to stop him, to be fair.
Really, I didn't see that much. Yeah,
I don't believe that
you're just trying to make it up to. Yeah. You talk a good talk, Levitt.
I'll be friends with whoever's in charge.
Well, I hope it's still recording, but anyway, whatever happens. Good thing we have a backup, right?
Hopefully, yes.
It does say
I
recording.
think I'm recording.
It says recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, the irony is I was just going to say, well, it's not a regular week because I have no power. And so I'm using my iPhone and we got some glitches with the sound and blah, blah, blah. And then you guys were like, you're frozen, but it's a good look. And I was like, oh, what do I look like? Oh my gosh.
You look cute as always. Yes. Yeah, you never have anything to worry about.
Oh, I've had my mom.
Oh, there she goes again.
Oh, now you're frozen again. That was so cute. You're like this. Oh, no, you're frozen again. Or you're glitchy. She glitches well, though.
Does.
In a very ugly.
And we should probably cut this short if.
Oh, you guys. Well.
That looks like a watercolor.
What does?
Every time you freeze, it looks like a watercolor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the resolution is just perfect for it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, let's cut it off, guys, because we'll be lucky if we get a recording out of this, I guess. So
hopefully we do. So
yes.
Yeah.
Steve, can't wait to watch you tonight.
Me too.
Very, very excited about that.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us. Well, thank you both for joining us. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you, everyone out there who is actually listening or watching. If you're still hanging in there, we really appreciate you. And we will see you again next week. So, yes.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Making scraps with the Fabulous Baker Boyz.
We do love us some Baker Boys. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
You guys.
Bye.
Bye.